All right, welcome back. That was a long pause for me, about 14 seconds. So now that we can identify the different pieces of these, now we want to be able to write these. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, what is the equation of a quadratic function with a vertex, and in this case, a y-intercept? So in the past, you've been given the equations. Now you're not going to be given the equations. You got to write them. So there's really a four-step process to this. So step one, you're going to substitute the coordinates of the vertex for h and k. So we know our vertex is at -2, 3. That's where our vertex is. So we can rewrite this, and remember our equation is y is equal to a times x minus h squared plus k. So I'm going to take my vertex and I'm going to substitute those points into the vertex. So in other words, I'm rewriting it as y is equal to a, and they've got -2, so this is going to be x plus 2 squared plus 3. Okay, so that's kind of your step one. You're going to substitute in there. Well, is that an equation now? No, it's not, because we've got that a value there. So the next step we have to figure out is, okay, how are we going to take care of that a value, and how do we find a point to put in that a value? Well, so here then becomes step two. Step two then, we've got an x and y value. They give it to us. They tell us that the intercept is They tell us that the y-intercept is -1. So we know what that y-intercept is. We know that y-intercept is -1. So that gives us the point 0, -1. So I can substitute then into my equation that I had just written back here. I can substitute in my equation right here the y value and the x value. My y value is -1. So -1 is equal to a, because that's what I have to find. 0 plus 2 plus 3, and then we solve. So you find out then that your a is equal to -1. So now we have to write the equation. Now when you're writing the equation of a quadratic, you need to have a y equals and then an x in there. You have to have y and x. Those letters have to be there. The letters, variables, they have to be there. So I know my a value is -1. So since my a value is -1, I can rewrite, just put a negative, and then we have our solution. That's our equation. And again, that equation has to be in the form y is equal to a times x minus h squared plus k. And ours is in that form. So we have to be able to find those things. Okay? So let's look at another example. So what is the equation of a parabola with a vertex of 1, -4 that passes through the point 2, -2, -1? Okay, so step one was to rewrite it with their vertex in there. So in purple, y is equal to a times x minus h. My h value is 1, so x minus 1 squared plus k, but k is -4. So I can just put it like that. And again, it's kind of the opposite of what you see in there and what you see. So there's step one. Step two, we know a point. They're giving us a point that it passes through. So we're going to substitute in there. My y value is -1. My a value is what I'm trying to find. My x value, which for some reason I didn't put in there, my x value is -2. Now we're going to solve this for a. So you get -1 is equal to a times -3 squared minus 4. So I'm going to add 4. So you get 3 is equal to -3 squared is 9. So that's 9a. Divide by 9. Reduce. You get a is equal to 1/3. So now I know my a value, so I can go ahead and write the equation of the line. Y is equal to my a value, x minus 1 squared minus 4. That's the equation of the parabola with a vertex of 1, negative 4 that passes through the point negative 2, negative 1. And they're all done that way. Okay, so let's look at a story problem. Okay, kind of a practical one. So it says the height of a thrown ball in a quadratic function of time is in the air. The graph of the quadratic function is the parabolic path of the ball. The vertex of the graph is at 120. The path of the ball includes the point 0, 4. What is the expression that defines the function? And write the quadratic equation in vertex form and in that form right there, which is standard form. Okay, so let's write it in vertex form first. So we've got our vertex is at 120. So we've got y is equal to a times x minus 1 squared plus 20. I've got my through point at 0, 4. So my y value is 4. My a value I don't know. I've got 0 minus 1 squared plus 20. Third hour, I think that was the bell for you to... it's just a lunch bell. Anyway, so 4 is equal to a plus 20. So negative 16 is equal to a. Nice 6, by the way. So then the equation that we have then, change colors to red, because red and pink go together so well. My a value is negative 16, x minus 1 squared plus 20. Okay, so that is vertex form. Now the next thing we have to do is we have to write that in that form up there. So in order to write that in that form over there, I'm not going to have enough space. I'm going to add a page here. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can cut this. Can I copy this? I can't. So we had y equals negative 16 times x minus 1 squared plus 20. All right, so if we want to put it in that other form, the first part we're going to do is this right here. So we need to understand that that's negative 16 x minus 1 times x minus 1 plus 20. Now I'm going to take this part and I'm going to FOIL it. So that's negative 16 times x squared minus x plus 1 plus 20. So that's negative 16 times x squared minus 2x plus 1 plus 20. So that's negative 16x squared. Now I'm distributing. Plus 32x minus 16 plus 20, which is negative 16x squared plus 32x plus 4. And there's the equation in what we call standard form of an equation of a line. Okay, so a little bit involved in putting it in that standard form. We're going to be mostly concerned with that vertex form today, but I wanted you to be able to see what it looked like to put it in standard form. Okay, let's look at another one. Okay, so the function g is a translation of the parent function f. And g is going to be 1 unit to the left and 3 units up. So what is the equation of g? We're going to write the quadratic equation in vertex form, and we're just going to put it in vertex form. Okay, so we're essentially going to write what g is. So it's telling us that it's translating 1 unit left and 3 units up. So essentially, left 1, up 3. That's where our vertex is going to be. Okay. So we have to write the equation of a line. How are we going to do that? So we've got y is equal to a. See how I did there? See, you weren't going to answer me if you were sitting in front of me anyway. So I just was pretending you were here and then like gave you 2 seconds to not answer me. It's what you would have done in class anyway. And then I moved on. So, yeah, see, just, yeah, whatever. So x plus 1 squared plus 3. There's the first part. No, look at the graph. Pick a point. Doesn't matter. Pick a point. Pick an easy point. My guess is it goes right there. So that's probably the point I'm going to pick. That's the point 0,4. So I know this blue one has to go through, nice 4. It has to go through 0,4. So since it has to go through 0,4, my y value is 4. My a value I don't know. My x value is 0 plus 1 squared plus 3. Solve. 1. A equals 1. So our equation, y equals x plus 1 squared plus 3. That's our equation. And we're done. So go ahead. I'm going to give this one a try. I'll put a little bit of fill into the video by me just staring at the camera, freaking you out, and some music. Solve it. Just put it in Vertex form, though. Don't put it in standard form. Just put it in Vertex form. Should be done. It's translating 2 units to the right and 5 units down. 2 units to the right. -2 squared, 5 units down. Oh, there's no a value for this one. Oh well, guess a is equal to 1. It doesn't give us another point that it goes through. So since it doesn't give us another point that it goes through, there's nothing we can do. It's just telling us what it's doing. That's what it's doing. Okay? If it would have given us a point that it goes through, then we would have had to have done all that other stuff. But if it doesn't, just do that. Okay? So to recall. Oh, geez, I just wrote on there. This is like my 6th video of the day. Sorry. No, 5th. 5th video of the day. So words. So just kind of a reflection. The graph of the quadratic equation is called a parabola. It's something that's in the form y is equal to a times x minus h squared plus k. The domain, range, all those different types of things. The vertex is hk. The axis of symmetry is x is equal to h. If a is positive, it opens upward. If a is negative, it opens downward. If x is greater than 1, it's stretching, getting skinnier. If a is between 0 and 1, it's getting fatter, or it's compressing in there. Remember that if a opens upwards, that's a minimum graph. If it opens downward, it's a maximum graph, and that's your y equals k. And then it shows you the different graphs that you should be able to do as well. Domain and range. Domain is always going to be from -infinity to infinity in parabolas that are going this direction, okay? That are y equals. The range, it's going to depend on your x value or your y values. So look at that y equals k. If it goes up, it's going to be from that y value to infinity. If it goes down, it's going to be from -infinity to that y value. So there is section 2-1. Lots of video today, nice and long. So if you paused it, you've got 1 through 6 done already. You just need to finish up 7 through 11 on the PDF. If you didn't pause it, then you've got 1 through 11 on that PDF. Submit that, and you're good to go. See you next time.